Oh, I will.
Oh, there he is. Understood.
Good. I'd like to call to order the Penn Trafford Regular School Board meeting for Monday, June 10th, 2024, and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Lego, could I please have a roll call?
Yes, you may, Mr. President. Mrs. Issy.
Here?
Dr. Klein. Present. Mr. Kachasik.
Here.
Dr. Koshjo.
Here.
Mr. Leonard. Here. Mr. Matarazzo.
Here.
Mr. Nemec.
Here.
Mr. Petrucci. Here. Mr. Stovar.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
Dr. Harris, information.
Thank you, Mr. Stovar. We're going to start off with some congratulations. We had Katie Datz this year. She's a teacher at Penn Middle School. She completed her doctorate, so I want to bring her up here and recognize her. All right, Dr. Datz, can you tell us, what was your dissertation?
So, my dissertation was the effects of educator burnout and job satisfaction of teachers.
Okay.
Specifically in Western Pennsylvania. I surveyed, I think I got about 6 school districts in this area, excluding Penn Trafford. And it was awesome. It was hard. It was a long 3 years. I had the support of so many family, friends. Some of my students even came today, which is great.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah, I'm glad it's over. But yeah. It's an awesome experience.
What university did you say? I'm sorry, I missed
It was
it.
University of Cumberland.
Okay.
It was in Kentucky. It was a fabulous university. I had great interactions with my colleagues, with my professors. It was awesome. I never thought it was something I could do, but boy, I'm glad it's over.
Well, you know what, the amount of time you put into your schoolwork and your lessons, I can see how you get everything in, and you always manage to do it all. And I give you a lot of credit because there's a lot that you do for the district and for Penn Middle, so you should be very proud, and for your students.
Thank you.
You're very well loved and appreciated.
Thanks, Doc.
And we got something for you to celebrate tonight with maybe some of your friends. Not everyone in the audience, but we did always like to do something. And as you know, I show my love with food, so hopefully tonight you and your family and your friends have celebrated. A lot of work you earned.
Thanks, Doc.
And that is all the information I have. We have a lot of people tonight in the audience. We have some speaking about the principal alignment, some teachers here for the contract, and some people here for the budget concerns. So I want to turn it over to Mr. Stovar.
Okay. Good. Move on to recognition of visitors. Procedure for audience recognition. You must state your name, address, and group affiliation, if any. Your statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration. All statements shall be directed to the president, and no participant may address or question a board member individually. You may be interrupted if your statement is too lengthy, personally direct, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. I have a list of the residents who wish to address the board. Your names will be called in the order in which you signed up. And first up is Corey Cavada.
And as Corey comes up, if people on the side want to take a seat, there's some seats on the side if you want to come over. Great. Corey's not here tonight, I take it? All right, we will move on to the next one.
Jay Johnson.
Good evening. The reason I'm here is we're going to have a vote, apparently, that is nowhere on the agenda concerning the budget and raising the millage.
Where is there on the agenda? I mean, it should be on the agenda, that's the whole.
It's not on the website. It was on the piece of paper that I got coming in the door, not on the website.
Page 24. I'm sorry. No.
Page 24?
Yeah, on
On
ours,
page 24,
under 9, taxes, insurance, and census.
But he said it's not on the website.
I think he's saying it's not on the agenda that came in
No,
here this morning.
no,
Say
it's not on the,
website.
it's not on the website. I couldn't find, frankly, I couldn't find a lot on the website. I'd like to find the budget that we're gonna vote on. I couldn't find it. It's pretty friendly, not friendly to do.
Okay. We'll double check the website to make sure it was on, just to see maybe if we misunderstood, but it's on our agenda here that we get this off.
I seen it when I came in the door. I'm talking about leading up to this, you know, I found out, just through conversations that we were going to have a meeting and vote on, raising the millage, raising the teacher's salary 3% a year. I mean, frankly, it seemed like it had just gone by without notice to anybody, because the more people I asked, I found out that I was not the only one. Matter of fact, I couldn't find anybody that I talked to that heard about it at all, except for in the newspaper, and that was fake news, because there was 2 articles in 2 different papers, and they contradict themselves. So to find the actual truth, frankly, this is about the only way I thought I could do it.
Okay.
And let me start out with, you know, I believe that this, you know, the board and the school district needs to take a bow. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm here to kind of just talk to you, which apparently that's all I'm allowed to do for 3 minutes. But, you know, we have a very, very good school district. We have a high scholastics, great sports. The money that we spend per student is lower than most in the county, although what we pay teachers is the highest in the county. And, you know, that being said, that we have a good school district, give you a history lesson. One of my favorite quotes is from Henry Ford, that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. There is no neutral, especially if you're at the top, which, again, I think we're at the top, or a close plateau to it. And the only way we're going to move is down. And if we think that we're just going to be stagnant, we're going to go down, according to Henry Ford, which I think he's right. So, going forward, I really cannot wrap my head around this budget, that we're going to pass a budget which requires 2 mills, which somebody has to tell me, because it started out at 3, and apparently with the wave of a magic wand, one of the mills just disappeared. And I'd like to know how that disappeared and what we cut to do that, because it was seemingly very easy, whatever it was. But we're going to give the teachers a 3% raise over the next contract. We don't even have a contract. And, you know, maybe in the school, they don't have the book by Mr. Trump, The Art of the Deal, because I think we're playing poker with the school union and we're showing our cards. I mean, this is, you know, comparable. We're going to get the money to offer you. Well, why have a negotiation? For the love of God, they already know that you're going to give them 3%. And they're going to do it over the length of the contract. Not only that, as I see it, I think that you're going to cover, what I see, is that you're going to cover the 3% raise this year by 2 mills this year. And then you're going to give them another 3% by contract next year. Do we go up another 2% next year? And then the year after that? I mean, it's actually so convoluted that I spent more time than I wish to admit on trying to figure this
Due to
out.
time limits, just because it is kind of past the time. When we came to the first meeting myself and Brett recommended 3 mills. We didn't get 3 mills passed at that time for preliminary budget. We only got 2 mills passed. So then we have to go back and work on our budget to make sure we can make 2 mills work, because that's what the task we were giving. Myself and Brett recommended more mills than what the board wanted to give us. So at that time, so that's kind of where, when you first said where was the 3 mills coming from, that was coming from my recommendation, and that was coming from Brett's recommendation as business manager. We couldn't get that passed by my board. So then they said, 2, so we went back and we had to make a 2 mil budget pass.
I understand that. So how did you drop a whole mill? Where did that money not go?
Correct. Well, that's when we had to start looking at different cuts and different way of analyzing, and then we also had to agree to draw upon our fund balance.
I got all that. The fact that I don't think that anybody has any grasp on what's going on here in the public, any at all. And I printed the rules.
Mr. Johnson,
of-
excuse me, your time's expired. You're well over your 3 minutes. That's the board policy. There are other speakers that are here to speak. You are way past it. If you want to have a conversation with me someday, call me, but you're done right now. Your time's up. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm running for board, and guess who else is done?
You know what? I'll be retired before you get on the board, so have at it.
All right, we have more speakers tonight.
All right, Brendan Mason, please.
Apparently. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Now that the embarrassment's over. All right. Good evening. My name is Brendan Mason of 68 Nancy Drive. I'll be speaking with reference to the principal realignment email from April 16th, 24. Quote, "A principal shift introduces fresh leadership perspectives, promising to invigorate curriculum development, extracurricular engagement, and community interaction." My first question would be, what exactly is the community interaction part of all of this? I'm assuming possibly this. Furthermore, quote, "introduces fresh leadership perspectives," and on the surface, seems like a good idea, but my idea is, why can't the principals meet up and discuss tactics? Seems like a pretty simple thing. If somebody has a good idea, that it should just be communicated. Wouldn't this be more effective and less invasive to the operations of each individual school within the district? Could it be perhaps that, in part, we have a communication problem? Why do principals need to change for this exchange of information to happen? In the words of one Penn Trafford resident, sounds like passing the trash, the way that this whole scenario has come about, and I'm sure a handful of you know what I'm referring to. We're very fortunate, quote, "we are very fortunate at Penn Trafford that all of our principals are very effective and highly qualified," end quote. If they're so effective and qualified, then why do they need to change their current posts? I do agree with the statement, however. I think that we can all agree that these folks are, in fact, highly qualified and uniquely qualified to understand their particular school's challenges and or strengths. Towards the end of the email, we're told that there's a realignment meeting on April 29th at 9 a.m., 11 Randall Court, export, blah, blah, blah. Who among the working folk can make it to a 9 a.m. meeting on a Monday? It's a rhetorical question because obviously the answer is not many. Could it be that this was already known moving ahead? Yeah, moving ahead. Please respond to person XYZ if you can attend. End email. There's no actual signature to this email. I'd like to suggest that all communications be properly signed. Why is it that the media Why is it that the media literacy interns can make it known who is sending an email about a bingo night not even 2 weeks prior to this, but a large change in administration, we don't know who it's coming from? And just for reference, my seventh grade daughter was in fact taught how to write and address business correspondences, so we do teach that in the district. Thank you, teachers. Could it be that there needs to be some sort of realignment or even standardization of communications? And I can certainly think of another type of realignment. Something else that was missing overall in this message was sound reasoning. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, it is stable leadership that is crucial for maintaining high academic standards and fostering a positive school culture. Therefore, it is essential that we preserve current principal positions while working towards comprehensive educational solutions that are going to positively impact and benefit our children. So I strongly urge you to reconsider all this. Keep things the way that they are. And to this effect, a petition has been signed by a number of parents within the district that wish to put a stop to this. We, the parents, we, the people, don't want this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mason, can you read that up to me? I appreciate the petition and the words. I appreciate the petition and everything you outlined tonight, so thank you.
Up next, Lily Bausch.
My name is Lily Bouch. I live at 222 Woodlawn Drive. I'm here tonight to express my concerns as a student at Trafford Elementary School. I have a lot of questions about why this is happening. My first question is, why are you doing this when Mr. DiNapoli didn't do anything wrong? You are breaking all of the trust of our teachers and breaking all of our hearts. Second off, have you been to Fun Day or any other school activity to see how much we love and support our principal? Mr. DiNapoli puts his heart and soul into everything he does for me and my brothers, but also for the entire student body and his teachers. We don't deserve this. This is simply heartbreaking. You are making this really hard for us. Please make all of this stop because we love our school. We want this to end because we want our school to stay like it is. Dr. Harris, you are making this all happen. We don't want you to keep doing this. We are speaking at these board meetings. This is ridiculous. Why are you doing this? You think this is okay to just take away our principal? You are hurting all of us. If you saw me at school, you would know my name. Would you know my name? Would you know my brother's names? The answer to that is no. But Mr. DiNapoli does. He knows all of our names because he is part of us to make Trafford great again and let Mr. DiNapoli stay. Thank you for having me here tonight. This is really, really sad. We really hope our principal can stay.
Lily, I want you to know you did a very good job reading. I really like what you wrote. You did a very nice job. And how you came up and presented, you were very brave.
All from the heart, may I add.
And I like that.
It was all her.
I like that. She did a very nice job.
Very good, man. Very good.
Next up is Karen Fry.
Hi, my name is Karen Fry. I live at 113 Cool Spring Flame. When I received the clearly AI-generated email on April 16th, alerting the district to the plans to upend all elementary school leadership, I was surprised to say the least. I have two daughters in the district, one going into 5th grade at Harrison Park and the other going into 10th here at the high school. In their entire career, never has such a drastic change ever been made So this decision that you've made to be laser focused on learning environments and student outcomes has left me with more questions than answers. And of course, that could certainly be because out of the people that have either spoken out at these meetings or people like myself who have sent you emails, we're still waiting for answers. You've been stunningly silent, and in that silence, only rumors have surfaced. Rumors that, even slightly true, should result in board member removal and a deeper look at how the board and higher level administration operates. So I'm really confused. What was wrong with our learning environments or student outcomes prior to this decision being made? I read Dr. Harris's emails every year about how wonderful our district is and how lucky we are to have our staff to guide our children. Should we believe now that Mr. Schwartz at Harrison Park is no longer the best person to lead our kids, but he's totally fine to take over at Level Green? Substitute any name on that list of affected principals and ask that question. I can tell you, as a parent of an elementary school student, something I don't believe any of you are, the answer is no, and it's not. And if it's not, the answer is on you. It's on you to tell us why. Your silence is deafening. We need to know what was done to help improve these environments and outcomes prior to making such a drastic change. We need to know why those efforts failed and why this is the only way to improve them. We need to know why you scheduled a meeting at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning for people to address this, knowing full well that the vast majority would not be able to attend. Was that the plan? To show that so few people attended so that the district must be okay with the decision? I assure you we're not. We need transparency from all of you, because without it, we're left with nothing but our own assumptions and rumors are only going to continue to be rampant. Neither of those things are good for morale for students or staff going into what you said would be a seamless transition. One that, of course, that Harrison's Park has now lost his summer reading program, by the way. You threw to Mr. Schwartz under the bus saying he didn't continue it because he was moving on to a new school. I don't appreciate that. Maybe you need to be reminded of what a seamless transition is, because from our vantage point, you're not ensuring one. As I told the reporter that I spoke to at the Trib last week, I absolutely hate to see our district in the media for anything less than something positive. But when so many questions go unanswered about something that's so important, it's hard to stay quiet. And I want to add that I've lost count of the people I know who want to come out and speak against this, but can't because they are close to a loved one that works at one of our district schools, and they fear retaliation. Our teachers promote an anti-bullying stance, and it seems like it's running rampant at the school board. I don't appreciate that. And it looks like you've got more than one problem on your hands now. Thanks.
Mrs. Fry, just want to say, Mrs. Fry, thank you for speaking on Jeff's behalf. He is a great principal. You asked about the reading program. When I called Jeff, that is what the answer he gave me, and I told you that we're going to make sure all 5 schools have a summer reading program. I promise. I know, Mrs. Fry, I promise you. I do. I do. I know. Thank you for speaking. I do appreciate it.
Up next, Ella Fry.
Hi, my name is Ella Fry, and I live at 113. Hi, my name is Ella Fry, and I live at 113 Cold Springs Lane. Good evening. I've recently heard that the principals are rearranging, and I think that the principals should have their own decision on whether to move schools or not. One reason why I don't want them to move is because the teachers really respect Mr. Schwartz, and Mr. Schwartz respects them too. Also, the kids miss out on Treasure Map Day, which is a pretty big deal because if you read a certain amount of books during the summer, you get to go to the Kona Ice Truck. And if you don't, and I don't like reading in the summer, but it is a good way to get kids to read and get prepared for middle school, which we're all going to. I'm going into 5th grade, and I want one more year with him, and I bet all the other 5th graders want one more year too. He also has provided so much for the kids, which I think is nice for him to do.
Thank you very much, and you did a very good job. Al, I want to look into the treasure map too. There's another point that's a little bit different than the reading incentive that kind of goes with it.
Up next is Carly Bausch.
Carly Bouch, 222 Woodlawn Drive, Trafford. Speaking about the principal realignment, yep, the 3rd time I'm standing at this podium, unfortunately. 4th time for my husband. Speaking in front of this board has not been fruitful in the way of answers from its members. However, it has been for the understanding of backhanded decisions. I read in the newspaper that Dr. Harris used this safety buzzword for the cause of this. I'm sorry, but if Trafford Elementary needed a principal on that side of the building, you could have simply hired one rather than moving Dr. Horvat and adding another administrative position to the high school. That would have nothing to do with the other 4 elementary schools. I believe and know wholeheartedly that I am amidst the majority. However, some others are confused. If this move was truly helping our children and that was the sole intention and we trusted you, that's fine. What the general public does not understand is that the retaliation and possible backhanded deals are what drives this change. If you have all studied what was best for the children and could come up with how this could possibly be beneficial for anyone's mental health, we're waiting and we're willing to listen. If you had that, I'm sorry, I lost my place. If you had that, you would have informed us as the parents of young children. Are the high school and the middle school not in need of fresh eyes? If safety was the reason, wouldn't you want the high school kids to be just as safe as the elementary schools, the elementary students? Do you see how unreasonable and silly that statement really is? If you're worried about safety, wouldn't it be better to keep the principals where they are, as they know the inside and outside of their buildings?
Mrs. Bouch, I was concerned because we had Dan at he was at 2 schools. He was at schools for 50% of the time.
And I understand that, but
that
now,
was, honestly, that was one of my main concerns.
and I can understand that because I do know staff that have had
Sure.
issues when he's not physically in the building
Right.
with safety. But we're getting an assistant middle school principal. We're not getting an elementary principal.
Are you concerned that she's not going to be at Trafford Elementary?
Not one bit am I concerned about that. Why is she not considered the Trafford Elementary principal?
Okay. Is that something that you would feel like?
Most definitely. Why is Level Green getting their own principal? Trafford isn't. You're giving her an assistant middle school principal position.
Okay. That's a good point. I'm glad.
That's a very good point.
Thank you for bringing that up. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. I appreciate
I'm
answers.
sorry.
I
I'm
appreciate
sorry.
answers.
I jumped in
Because I'm
there.
tired of not hearing from you.
Mrs. Bouch, that is a personnel issue, and that is not something we're able to discuss in public.
And that's perfectly fine that it's a personnel issue. My kids deserve an elementary principal like Level Green. They don't deserve an assistant middle school principal. Mr. Sullivan has that middle school down pat. He's fine. As a matter of fact, I've personally spoken to him. So thank you for addressing that, Dr. Harris. Any answers are greatly appreciated, as we're still silenced by all of you. I'm sorry?
I interrupted. You
Okay,
go back to
okay.
You can go
I
back.
don't even know where
I won't worry about the time.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Right here. Oh, no, I stopped you. Okay, if you're worried about safety, wouldn't it be better to keep the principals where they are okay. I apologize, I got thrown off. It seems you are throwing any buzzwords at this situation to see what sticks and to get people off your backs. Totally unacceptable. Let's talk about the fact that this change has been pushed by a few and not all of you. While bystanders are just as guilty as those doing the bad deed. We have an anti-bullying policy in this district. No tolerance, what I've been told. If the board members at the top are retaliating, this falls under bullying. You see, the definition of bullying is the repetitive intentional hurting of one person or group where the relationship involves an imbalance of power. That leads me to where I started, mental health, right? Talk about mental health, I don't know how many times up here at this podium. Mental health is at an all-time high, yet you instituted change that's going to demolish the foundation upon which our teachers and principals have established routines that have worked for them. Our principals know the children and the parents in their buildings. Bullying is absolutely a main cause for our society struggling with mental health. Now let me be very clear, retaliation, it's bullying, guys. In my own world, it's criminal. You're supposed to be the example setters, the ones that set the tone for professionalism for the school district and the community. Unfortunately, you have not held up your end of the bargain. Stop trying to fix a system that's not broken. I want the members of the board, central administration, district residents, and the media to know you are harming our children, our wonderful teachers, and our dedicated principals. In conclusion, I want the public to know how much money the district may end up paying out when we choose to send our children to alternative schools on the district's dime. I've heard several parents talking about this. Guys, this is what's gonna happen when trust is lost. One last statement. Does the nepotism policy apply to you as board members and people getting hired? Thank you.
Up next, Jeremy Nutt.
Jeremy Nutt, 4 Highview Circle, about the principal realignment. I want to start off with just thanking everybody, thanking all of you for the opportunity to speak to you all today, and specifically to the board. Thank you for your time. I know you're all volunteers, and you often, I'm sure, are met with complaining parents, but I do appreciate the effort that you are all putting forth. My family moved to PT 4 years ago. We were very excited about the reputation of this school. A reputation that is definitely in part because of the actions of former and current board members and administrators. My concern is regarding the future of that reputation. The April 16th email that the parents of this district received was obviously AI generated and indicated a wide change in leadership for the district. How do I know it was AI? Ignoring the overwrought rhetoric and convoluted wording that AI typically generates, 3 different AI detector tools indicated a 90% or better probability of AI. This technology has grown endemic across the nation with students attempting to cheat their way through school. I would hope to see better from the professionals of this district, particularly with their chosen careers guiding academics. In particular, though, it was disappointing due to the content of the letter, the district-wide change of leadership with an implication that this will continue on a regular basis. In my experience, leadership churn is detrimental. At General Electric, I saw floor managers come and go, each with new interpretations of Six Sigma and Lean. The result was too much time trying to defend these new practices and to be constantly met with eye rolls and resistance. My wife has taught at school where leadership churns. The administration and teachers have little trust in one another. Interactions border on hostile, and the mood of the day is apathy. I believe the practical effect of this new rotating policy will be a degradation in the quality of the education in our district. You may disagree with me, and I think this new policy is a good one. I very earnestly would like to know why, with a comprehensive reason why. The main benefit I do see, broader experience amongst the principals, I think can largely be achieved through just communication of those principals with one another. The vacuum of information that we have received, though, has started to fill with rumor. The basic thrust of it is petty retaliations against personnel. The reputation of our school, and some of you, is being questioned. This is embarrassing for all of us. Typically, I ignore rumor, but this ordeal has not had a good appearance. There didn't seem to be any public discussion on something this large. I would expect a change like this to be coupled with specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based goals and metrics. Otherwise, I don't know how we would know that this was a successful or good idea once we've completed it. The original AI email was overwrought and lacking in detail. The email was apparently a surprise to all the teachers as well as the parents. I don't believe this plan could have been well planned out or documented if it's a surprise to all the personnel. It included an invitation to a Monday morning meeting that other people have discussed, and the difficulties of some people to attend that. Last week, I'm sure I legitimately believe this was an accident, but just the fact that we were all locked out until several minutes past 7 didn't feel great.
I made sure there was a custodian and a guard down there tonight because I don't know what happened, so I do apologize for that.
I saw the piece of paper on the desk, so I figured.
I had 2 people down there. I said, no one. Our summer hours change, and we don't have a custodian at nighttime. Everyone works 6 to 4, Monday through Thursday. So I didn't even think about it when we came in here. And then I was like, and I knew people signed up to speak. And I also had my retirements and everything else going on.
There were like 4 of them.
That was completely my fault. And I do appreciate you bringing up the AI, because that's one thing I'm glad that you brought up, because that's something that we should look differently upon next time. So you're completely right.
I don't think it needs to be a big deal.
No, I agree with you. I do. I had about another person. You emailed me about that before, but someone else did as well, and I agree. You're right. And then we will look at the 3 to 5 year. We kind of look at that because right now it's just 1 year at a time at this point. So.
But the problem with the lack of free flow of information makes things like that look strange.
10 times worse.
Yeah, and I do believe that it was coincidental. Yeah. So I would hope that we could get some sort of public discussion on what this is intended specifically to improve or fix, and how you're going to judge the success of this project. We're entering the summer months. Parents and teachers are going to have basically 0 positive feedback from the school. Summer activities we did have, like the reading program, it's also been discussed, aren't continuing. We're looking at 3 months of rumors spreading and growing, 3 months of the integrity of this district being questioned, 3 months of these rumors just going unchallenged. So thank you very much again for your time.
Thank you for coming.
Quinn Matz.
Hello. Quinn Matz, 6011 Brookside Drive. I had a speech prepared, and it seems like everybody hit everything I wanted to say, so I'm really here to ask, what can you talk about?
Well, I mean,
Because we've asked questions after questions after questions, and I was here, people asked questions, board had a discussion, talked about things, and they were like great conversations, problem solving. But you were engaged with the community. I was like, wow, they're fixing this bus problem. Wow, they can do this. And then we come here, and it's radio silence. So what can we talk about?
Well, we can talk about plans moving, like, for example, the reading plan was a concern, and then once you brought that to our attention, I did say, yes, you're right, this is what we need to do at all schools. And then when we
Is there
talked
any
about,
consideration of looking at this plan that you have and saying, you know what, the community doesn't like this? I don't see anybody here supporting it. I don't see anybody coming and say, like, we want this realignment. This sounds great. We don't want to know our principal. We don't want to know what happened the past 5 years and know what's going to come down the road. And you know, that stuff we've been doing, and you know, those relationships we built and the teachers built with their, you know, staff members. We don't like that. Let's just, every 3 years, let's just switch it up.
ironically, we have had people speak out, they're just not coming to the meetings. Like, we even had a meeting, not too many parents came, and I agree, because it was a Friday morning, but we had several parents, Monday morning, I'm sorry. Thank you. We had several parents who did come, and they told the parents there it was a good switch. And not all of them, no. I agree with you, but we did have some. So
but what I'm
there are-
asking for is this, a conversation, like, everybody's here is asking for questions, so what can you answer? Like, can we have a parent committee and we get together and like, make this, if we're gonna switch, like, make right switches, not everybody and everything every 3 to 5 years, like, I mean, this is supposed to be a conversation, and it's just us asking questions and radio silence, like, nothing's being answered.
Well, I think the 3-minute, when you bring in concerns, is not really a dialogue, it's for us to take in information.
Well, I'll give you the rest of my time.
But it's for us to receive, we don't always have to respond. And then,
Well, I mean, at some point, you know, we had come here with all these concerns, and that's what this board is supposed to address.
Oh, I
And
understand.
they did this for other people, and I'm just wondering why it won't happen for us. So, again, radio silence.
Matthew Wesolowski.
Hi, hello. My name's Matt Wesolowski. I live at 227 Fairmont Avenue. Again, most everybody's said everything I was going to touch on. I'm a single dad, and unlike most people, like, I had to like fight and earn my way into the school district. My family and I gave everything to come to Penn Trafford. I can't thank you all enough for everything you do for the kids. And I don't want to misconstrue anything in anything I say. So thank you. I'm proud to be here. Let me clear that up right away. My kids go to Trafford. Our principal is Mr. DiNapoli. He's the best. They've been there for a few years now, and anything I've ever wanted for their experiences has been met thus far. I couldn't be prouder of our community. Many of you know how hard we've worked for our playground, which was a huge achievement for us and was no small act for our town. We've had events, fundraisers, and everything. And Mr. DiNapoli was absolutely leading the charge the whole way. It kind of breaks my heart that he won't be there to see it and all the work pay off. My next door neighbor goes to Level Green because of the Pen Pals program. She can't go to the same school despite being his close friends. And I love that we have that program to offer. The one bond my kids share with their friend is how much they love their principal. I'm really proud hearing the other Trafford people talk, because you mentioned that he has split time at the schools, and we're still fighting so hard for him. That's how wonderful he is. I'm kind of changing my plan. My dad was a teacher. He taught for 50 years. I grew up watching him do lesson plans. I walked around to schools during in-service days. He was a board member with Pittsburgh Public Schools for 8 years. And I know how important community is to education. My buddy on my baseball team, Carson, is here, and I talk to his dad all the time how much I love our schools and how their classroom is blessed with a group of close friends that has no separation on any level. And it's really wonderful, and I couldn't be prouder of our town. I was devastated at the news of the principal change, and I saw a lot of upset children because of the suddenness that it came down. There were reactions everywhere, and it was immediate. It was tough to deal with as a parent. I fought for Penn Trafford. I believe every person you're going to put in front of us is the best possible person for the job. But we had somebody wonderful for the job that our kids love. If you don't mind, I have one paragraph that I wrote that I still wanted to say. I recently ran into Mr. DiNapoli, not kidding, like 2 days ago at Logo IT, picking up All-Star uniforms. I've always felt that I have a great relationship with Dan. We've talked a few times. He's always answered any question I had, been supportive of any idea, and more than anything, you always fear that he truly hears you. If you've talked to Mr. DiNapoli, you know what I mean. He hears every word you say, and it's a rewarding experience. For that reason, I feel I could ask something if I had to, and I've been fortunate enough in my experience, I've never had to ask him for anything. Mr. D always greets me with a smile and nod. Some would say that's the perfect male relationship. But what makes him great is what he showed the other day when I met him. The first thing he did when he saw myself and my children was he listened to all of their stories. The kids caught up with him like a family member who had been missing that they couldn't wait to tell all their details. They told him about their reading program, their baseball games, and what they think about their next year. And Mr. DiNapoli didn't blink, move his gaze, and he held their attention until he took in every single word. And again, he left, and I gave him a smile and a nod. But this time I thanked him. And that's why I'm here tonight. And again, I just want to thank Mr. DiNapoli for always done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Lisa Popovich.
Lisa Popovich, 5904 Claridge Export Road. And I'm going to apologize right now because I did write something, but I can't read it. I can't read it that fast. I'm going to talk with my heart because, as you all know, I truly believe that I'm in a unique position here. Not only am I a taxpayer, a citizen, a business owner, a parent of 2 graduates from Penn Trafford, one with special needs, one who's high achieving, and right now she's in the process of applying to medical schools. And I'm an employee of the district, and I'm one of Penn Trafford's biggest fans, and you know that. I'm getting a little ahead of myself because they haven't talked about our union contract, but I do want to thank the board members and our union representatives for putting in the time and everything to prepare a contract that considers all of us. I'm not one on the very lowest end. I'm not one on the highest end. I'm only at level 8, and I truly appreciate that you considered all of us when you were working on this contract, so thank you. But I'm addressing because of the parents. Since March 5th, when this actually began for me, when I was informed that Amy would be leaving the high school to go to McCullough, that's when this all began for me, because her leaving the high school impacts me greatly. As the high school nurse for the past 8 years, Amy and I have worked together to do everything the best we could for the students and staff. We created the high school student assistant program, and our team was recognized in 2023 as the best high school student assistant program in the state of Pennsylvania. We've worked tirelessly to help the students, and especially those with mental health issues and the seniors that were having issues, and trying to get them to see their potential and helping them with everything that we possibly could to get them to graduate and get their graduation requirements. That is one of the things we strive to do. We want them to graduate. We want them to see their potential. And this, of course, this transition will be difficult for me, but I did meet with Dr. Harris, and he reassured me that we would find the right person to come to the high school. They talked about the AI-generated letter, and I know you all know that. Dr. Harris, when you send emails, you write them with your heart. That's why even when things have come from the district, maybe I haven't agreed with, the way you write them and explain them, it's okay, because you do explain them. But ever since we received that, all of these rumors are creating. In fact, Dr. Nix, everybody's saying this is your fault because you're new to the district. And no, it's not. This is not her fault. She did not do this. Things happened. Somebody had a plan, and all of a sudden, all of this blew up. It began with one person, and now all of this. And I know these parents, I've been watching the school board meetings. If I'm not here, I'm watching it online. You know that. And I'm frustrated for the parents because they are asking questions, and nobody is answering their questions from the school board. And I know you all. I know a lot of you very personally. And I know you care about what's happening in the district and what's happening. And as the gentleman was saying who came to Penn Trafford, this is the place to be. This is the school district to be in. And the thing about it is I just had an encounter with a young girl at Taco Bell last week who straight up said to me, she was going to Greensburg-Salem and left and went to a charter school, and she just graduated from that charter school. But she was so bummed because her cousin graduated from Penn Trafford this year. She tried everything to go live with her aunts so that she could come to Penn Trafford, but it didn't work out because all she ever heard about was how great Penn Trafford is, and we are. And we are that great district. However, what's happening right now is under the cover, and it's all about transparency, and I apologize. I'm going to finish. I'm sorry. When we had the pandemic, we straight up told people, I mean, they all came to the school board meetings and they were all complaining, but we straight up told them, the reason we're doing this is we're following the mandates. We have to follow the Board of Education. We have to follow the Department of Health, because this is what we have to do as a public school. And we did. And because we were straight up and honest with those people, hey, they weren't happy about it, but they listened. I mean, we had a lot of that. And I know that this school board, you do care. I know nobody's thinking about that. I know you care. I know each one of you do. And I know Dr. Harris, Dr. Nix, all of you in the administration, you do care. And for these parents, if we can get something together that we can sit down and talk to them, because trust me, I know the parents. I'm making phone calls all the time home with issues with their kids, trying to work with them for their medical issues. The parents that call me back and reply to emails, they're the ones that care. They're the ones that are here. It's the parents that don't reply. They don't call, and it's deafening silence from them. So all I'm asking is that we work with them, because I know that's what we are. Penn Trafford's great. And thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Personnel mission.
All right, that was the last of the speakers for tonight. So we move on to old business, which there is none tonight. We had an executive session at 5 p.m. this evening before the meeting, and we talked about personnel and litigation issues. And that's what we did at executive session. Now I'll move on to the consent agenda. Does the board wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted under one motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Tony. This question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving out to budget and finance, Mr. Nemec.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to recommend that the 2024-2025 school district budget and schedules in the total amount of $68,518,406 properly advertised in accordance with the school laws of Pennsylvania be adopted, and filed in the official board minutes to include the following taxes as shown in the budget. Real estate tax at a rate of 90.75 mils, assessed on each which is $9.075. It's assessed on each $100 of the assessed value of the tax property. Real estate tax rate for Allegheny County portion located in Trafford Borough is 13.97 mils. Per capita tax at a rate of $5 on each eligible resident, and the Act 51 taxes as listed, and the budget breakdown as listed.
Second.
Question. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no?
Nay.
Nay. Okay, Mr. Lego, will you pull the board?
Yes, I will.
So,
Mrs. Ising.
For
Here, yes.
clarification, should you explain that this is 1 mil?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to, can you explain what they are
I think
actually
just-
voting on?
just so
Because
the
it doesn't
board
really
knows what
know.
we're-
Yeah, it's a 1 mil increase over last year, was reduced from the preliminary budget from 2 to 1, and it basically averages out on the average home, $27 a year, additional taxes, $2.30 a month.
Okay, so that's what's out on the table here, so you can go ahead and pull the board, please.
Mrs. Issing,
Yes.
Dr. Klein,
No.
Mr. Kachasik.
Yes.
Dr. Costo,
Yes.
Mr. Leonard,
No.
Mr. Matarazzo,
Yes.
Mr. Nemec,
Yes.
Mr. Petrucci,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall.
Yes.
7 yes, 2 no, the motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. President, I think. Hold on.
Yeah, it goes through the rest of it, right?
Yes, that is all I have.
Okay, employee relations, negotiations, transportation, Mrs. Issing.
Move to approve a 5-year contract with the Penn Trafford Education Association effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2029. A copy of the agreement will become part of the official board minutes.
Second.
Question.
Just wait, Sean, do you have any comments on the contract, or?
I think we worked well
Tiffany?
together, and my members are pleased, and it was fair for everybody, and I commend the board for working with us the last 3 weeks, and, no, that's, everybody's pretty happy.
Mr. Stovall, Mrs. Ising, everybody else, Mr. Nemec, thank you. You know, I appreciate us working well together and working together as a team for what is best for, I think, the taxpayers as well as the union. Obviously, there's give and take, but I think at the end of the day, it's a fair agreement.
It was fair and within the district parameters, and I think, you know, everything should work out.
Yeah, just a shout out to Tiffany, she was the number cruncher, I think
Yeah.
that really moved things forward for us, because we were just kind of talking in theory, and once it got on paper, I think it really helped everybody, so.
And Mr.
Thanks,
Zobar,
Tiffany.
I just want to throw out there, not only do I thank the union members who worked with us on this contract, I want to thank all my teachers. They all deserve this. This is very, they worked very
I want to say, we started negotiations in January, and we met every few weeks, and I feel that we've come to a contract that awards our teachers for doing such a great job and producing these high scores, and we acknowledge our parents, who are a critical part of that. But especially today, we're honoring our teachers.
Right.
Thank you.
That'll go a long way.
Very smooth, Tiffany, very smooth.
Thank you. I enjoyed working with you guys.
All right, so I had a question out there. The question was being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
Mr. President, I abstain from voting on that. I abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Make that note, please.
Yes.
Motion still passes.
Okay, congratulations.
And I think that's all, Mrs. Zissing. Move on to personnel and curriculum. Dr. Costo is going to handle that.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to employ the following personnel. New employment is contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation, the acceptance of Act 34, 151, 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 30 days. Carly Bank, teacher at Penn Trafford High School, effective August 19th, 2024. Emily Kachasik, teacher at Penn Middle School, effective August 19th, 2024. Dennis Daniels, custodian district, effective June 3rd, 2024. Dylan Stewart, summer grass cutter, custodian district, effective May 28th, 2024. Liz Horvat, summer custodian district, effective June 1st, 2024. Lacey Del Signor, summer custodian district-wide, effective June 1st, 2024. Josh Lenz, summer custodian district-wide, effective June 1st, 2024. And Caitlin Garris, summer custodian district-wide, effective June 1st, 2024. Second.
Question. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All
Mr.
opposed,
President,
no.
I'm officially abstaining.
Okay. Abstention.
Where's the next part to that? Yeah, next
There's
part.
more. Scott.
Number 8, next page.
Retirements. Yeah, I'm just reading it, listening.
You did this, didn't we?
Okay.
We actually had extra retirements come in. We honored Roseanne already, but we never officially did her motion. And then several other teachers came in after the case. And for some reason, we didn't have Pam Barton on earlier this year, even though she retires. We want to make sure we officially retire her. We did invite everyone to the retirement ceremony.
So I'm gonna, Mr. President, move to accept the following retirement resignations. Roseanne Funyak, secretary at Little Green Elementary, effective, is that the end of school year? It
To
says-
be determined.
To be
Yeah, she
determined.
still has to give her official day.
Okay, Rachel Stoffer, teacher district-wide, effective August 19th. Jane DeBone, teacher at Penn Middle School and Penn Trafford High School, effective July 1st, 2024. Renee Martz, athletic secretary at Penn Trafford High School, effective August 5th, 2024. Pam Barton, PCA at McCullough Elementary School, effective June 30th, 2024.
Second.
Question?
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
That'll be all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Costo. Taxes, insurance, census, Mr. Matarazza.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move that the Board of School Directors adopt the following resolution. Be it resolved, and it is hereby resolved by the Board of School Directors of the Penn Trafford School District that there is hereby assessed, levied, and imposed for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024, ending June 30th, 2025, a tax on all real estate in the district subject to taxation at the rate of 90.75 of assessed valuation of taxable property. The real estate tax rate for Allegheny portion located in the Trafford Borough is 13.97. Do I have a second?
Second. Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
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 Mrs.
Full
Zissing.
board.
Yes.
Dr. Klein.
No.
Mr. Chasick.
Yes.
Dr. Costo.
Yes.
Mr. Leonard.
No, and I would like to qualify my no because I don't think we put enough millage in to pay for it.
Mr. Matarazzo.
I'm going to say no as well because I agree. I think we should have had a higher millage.
Mr. Nemec.
Yes.
Mr. Petrucci.
Yes.
Mr. Stovar.
Yes.
6-3, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all.
Okay, then I have a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
This meeting will be adjourned at 8:05.